Hi, my name is Fraser and welcome to GPU Solutions. Today we have an MSI Gaming X RTX 3070 which is reported as not getting detected. So let's find out what's wrong with it. To start off, we are first going to measure the resistance starting with the 12 volt PCIe. And we have kilo ohms and rising, which is good. Next, we are going to check the 3.3 volt line on the same PCIe, and again we have kilo ohms and rising. Next, we are going to check the 12 volt 8 pin. So let's check the first 8 pin, and we have high resistance. And let's check the second one. We also have high resistance. So we don't have any short circuits here. Since we don't have any short circuits on the main rails, let's connect the power supply and check how much current it draws. Turning it on now. You can see it's drawing about 0.224 amps, which is very low. The fans are spinning, which means we have 1.8 volt present, but since the current draw is 0.2 amps, the core voltage is missing. Let's go ahead and dismantle the GPU and find out. With the cooler removed, let's first check the resistance on the board. And starting with the 12 volt 8 pin, we have about kilo ohms and rising, so it's in the kilo ohms range. Let's check the second pin, and that too is fine, it's in the kilo ohm range. Now let's check the 5 volt rail, and we have about 31 kilo ohms, which is good. Let's check the second one, which is the main rail, and we have about kilo ohms, the 1.8 volts, and we have about 2 kilo ohms. Specs, we have about 9 ohms, which is normal. The memory rail, we have about 24 ohms, which is normal as we are using Samsung memory. So all the resistances are fine, so let's connect our power supply and check the voltages on each of these rails and find out what's missing. So this time I'm going to do a random check. So let's start off with the memory rail, and we have 0 volts. Let's check the 1.8 rail, and we have 1.8 volts. So as expected, we have 1.8 volts. So we suspect the core is missing. As you can see, there's no voltage on the core. So if the core voltage is missing, all the other voltages like PEX and memory are also not present. So next, let's check under the microscope if we can find any visible signs of damage. There are no visible signs of damage in the front or the back of the board. Next, I will install standoffs to raise the board so that we have a flat surface to measure voltages while tracking the fault. Let's start with this logic gate, which is labeled U1. This gate sends enable signal to turn on the MOSFETs on pin 4. Let's check if we have 5 volt on pin 5 first. We have 5 volts. Let's check the output. We have no output. Let's check if we have our 2 reference voltages. Our 5 volt power good signal is present. Let's check pin 2. Our voltage is missing on pin 2. So one of our reference voltages is missing, and that's the reason the core voltage is not turning on. The reference voltage comes from this logic gate here. This is a circuit responsible for sending the voltage to pin 2 on the gate labeled U1. First, let's check this diode to see if our thermal overheat is activated and if our 1.8 volt is missing here. No, our 1.8 volt is present. Now let's check if we have the VCC on pin 5. We have 3.3 volts. Pin 1, we have 1.8 volts. Pin 2, we have 3.3 volts, and pin 4, we only have 0.8 volts, which is very low. So there's a drop of 1 volt on this particular gate. So our logic gate is faulty, dropping voltage on its output. So let's prepare to replace this AND gate. To remove the gate, I will first apply some flux and some leaded solder to each of its pins to reduce the melting temperature. With the help of hot air at 420 degrees Celsius and airflow at 60%, I will lift the logic gate. The replacement logic gate, I will take it from this donor board, and it's the same MSI 3070 board. So let's remove this gate from this board. The procedure is the same. I will apply some flux, tin the legs and with leaded solder and remove it. Time to install this gate back on our original board. Now let's connect back our power supply and test if the voltage is now passing through. I will cool this area with my blower fan to reduce the board temperature. Turning it on, and you can see the power draw from the top left side of the screen is now 1.2 amps, which is looking good. Let's measure the output of this gate and check if we have voltage. And yes, we have 3.2 volts, which is good. Now let's measure all the missing voltages to check if they are present now. Let's first check the core voltage, and we have 0.75 volts, which is normal. Let's check the memory voltage. We have 1.35 volts, which is normal. And PEX, we have 0.96. So with all the voltages present, we can now test this board by installing it on my test bench and check if it's getting detected and if it displays any picture. Turning it on now. And as we can see, we have a picture. So our GPU is detected and displaying an image. So let's clean this board and assemble it back again. Our GPU is fully assembled. Let's put it back on a test bench and run some stress tests and just make sure that our card is working properly. Our drivers have been installed. Let's open up GPU-Z and run some benchmarks. So I started off by running Firmark to check the temperatures and power draw. I also ran superposition and the score was normal. I then ran 3D Mark Nomad and the score was good. And last I ran 3D Mark Speedway and our GPU is behaving normal as always. So our repair is complete. I hope you learned something from this video, and if you did, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified when I release a video. You can support this channel by becoming a channel member or using the thanks button as a one-time option. Your contribution helps and it helps me make more videos like this. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. Cheers.